This is just the first test of a mechanism, first prototype. As I've feared, I think it's friction, which is going to be the biggest issue, so we may have to put the whole base on rollers. So the mechanism is a couple of lift arms there, everything braced. The beams on here is to really keep the baseboard quite straight because it likes to flex. I will operate it in one direction. There's a bit of shuddering, it does work. The whole board lifts up as it tries to move. It's a fair bit of weight on there, 3D filament spool plus Baby Yoda. Clutch is there for safety, but it doesn't seem to need it. I'm actually going to try moving this down lower. I was just hoping to have it up high because the clearance for the big gear, but I'll just do that gearing otherwise. Because I'm thinking having the pivot point lower may help. But ultimately, I think the best thing is actually to lift the whole thing and put it on rollers. There is, what I'm going by with your build, a fair bit of weight. But as you can see, you all out the way. This, presuming being your stage, is just sitting on another one. And I've going to just put tiles on here, hoping that that would work, but I think there's just too much friction. The shuttering, I mean, it works. You know, I think it's got the strength to do it. If this is all braced around, it should be strong enough. But yeah, I'm going to try another video, which I'll probably send to you, which will have this pivot point lowered down, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it can pull on it and won't shudder as much. And then the next one I will do is I will just jack all of these up, and I'm going to just put little roller wheels. I'm not sure if you've got a lot, but I've got a ton of these little roller wheels, and I think they should be fine even without tires on them. I think it'll just give it a whole lot of smoothness to roll. So I'm trying to go for parts cheapness, and then once we've got this working, we can program it and tie it in together. Okay, time to pull this thing apart and get those gears lower down to see if that works. Take two. This has now moved a lot lower to the base, and it sort of works a bit better now. Definitely see the flex in the board, but it's going back and forth. I think that's probably enough movement for your doors to clear and come out. If we need less movement, so we're going back here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 studs, I'd say. Doesn't quite go level, so say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So moving that, to change that, we would change this to a 2 lift arm or a cam, which you realise actually have a halfway point there, which gives you 1.5. So that's something that could be used just to fine-tune the control. Ultimately, if this is controlled via computer control, doesn't really matter. This just might give you a bit of leverage, so I'll play with that next. And then after that, I'm going to quickly jack it up and I'll put a whole bunch of wheels under that and see how that goes. Next test with the shorter cam. Seems to be quite happy. Okay, last revision for the night. What I've done is put the whole thing just on a very simple 1x1, 2x2 round brick rollers. Stupidly simple. Still got the little brackets there holding as guide rails. Haven't changed this mechanism yet, and we shall put this nice heavy, I don't know, it's got to be half a kilo to a kilo. I can probably test it with more and Grogu. And let's see it work. This is substantially smoother now. No shuddering at all. This of course just goes beautifully back and forth, and I'm quite confident I could probably put a ton of weight on here. In actual fact, I shall find something else heavy that I've got nearby. Okay. Hard drive, a whole bunch of charger bricks, and I do think that this should be probably okay. Oh, look at that. Not even breaking a sweat. That's how they moved the stones to the pyramids. It's amazing what you can do with a little bit of engineering. This is not even breaking a sweat. I could probably have it on slow. Notice I use the yellow connectors. I don't have one big long axle because the axles can flex too much. So instead using shorter axles with connectors, and you end up with a stiffer axle that stops torsioning or twisting. A bit of gearing down here, but as you can see, this is moving as smooth as silk. It means you can keep it on the base plate. You don't have to re-engineer that. Obviously you'll have your little bit that sticks out the side there. But I think something like this, as long as you've got another base plate and a bunch of parts, you should be able to motorise fairly well. Yeah, look at this actually. I need to build something big myself and make it move a small amount.